Are you struggling to select the perfect domain name for your business? In this video, I'm going to discuss some of the factors that you need to consider. I'm NICOLE from Inspiratti, helping purposeful entrepreneurs build brands and websites with intention, personality, and impact. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my new videos. Choosing a domain name is an important step in establishing your business online. The name you choose will affect people's perception of your website and your business. A well-chosen name will boost interest, trust, and traffic, whereas a poorly chosen name might have the opposite effect. However, selecting the right domain name can sometimes seem like an impossible task. With so many possibilities and limited availability, it can be difficult to know where to start. In this video, I'm going to discuss some of the factors you need to consider so you can pick the perfect domain name for your business. So the first factor you want to consider when selecting a domain name is you want to make sure that it is relevant. Using keywords in your domain name tells search engines what your website is about. This can help you rank higher in Google. So it's wise to consider the keywords that you want your website to show up for. For example, if your business is about fitness training, you may want to include the word fitness in your domain. If you have a local business, you may want to include keywords relating to your location, for example, London or Manchester. Try to put any keywords at the beginning of your domain name, as this is where it will be most powerful in your ranking. However, leave room to expand as your business grows and evolves. Maybe you will add new products or services in the future. For example, if you have a bakery that sells pastries, you may choose the domain name freshpastries.com. But if you do expand to sell sandwiches and savoury snacks in the future, this name wouldn't be relevant. So you should always think long-term when selecting your domain name. The second factor you want to consider when selecting your domain name is you want to choose a unique and catchy name. Whilst it's good to include keywords in your domain name, awkwardly stuffing keywords into your domain name isn't good practice. That's because you want your domain to be memorable, stand out, and stay in people's minds. It's important to select a domain name that is unique and catchy. This is likely to be your business name, for example, Nike.com rather than buytrainers.com. The latter sounds generic and as if they are selling any old trainers, whereas the former sets them apart as a brand and sounds more trustworthy. So it's a balance of what works for you, keywords versus a catchy, brandable name. The third factor you want to consider when selecting a domain name is you want to ensure that it is easy to remember. And there are a few things to bear in mind here. Make sure the domain name is easy to spell and easy to pronounce. You don't want people to struggle to type it incorrectly because they type in the wrong spelling, or they hear you say it aloud, but they are not sure how to spell it. It's therefore best to avoid abbreviations and unusual spellings to avoid confusion. Also, shorter domain names are easier to remember and quicker to type. People are also less likely to make errors when typing it into the browser. That results in more people visiting your website. Also, avoid hyphens and numbers in the domain name. These can make your domain cumbersome rather than smooth and memorable. The fourth factor you want to consider when selecting a domain name is that you want to consider geography. Who are you trying to reach? Where are they based? If you want to attract people in a specific country, it's wise to have the country-specific domain. For example, if you're in the UK, it would be .co.uk. If you have a more global audience, .com is a good option. Why? Because .com is the most common and so easier to remember. If people are not sure what the domain extension is, they will probably assume it's the .com, or the country level domain you live in if you have a local business. .net or .org can also be good options if .com isn't available. But I'd avoid those strange extensions such as .club or .space. Remember, it doesn't have to be this or that. You can purchase a mix of domain names to cover yourself. In fact, I'd recommend purchasing various domain extensions as well as different versions of your domain to protect your brand. In conclusion, a good domain name can boost your SEO, improve the credibility and trustworthiness of your website, and boost the recognition and findability of your business. However, a poorly chosen name could come across as spammy, unprofessional, or simply difficult to find. It's worthwhile doing some research before selecting your domain name. Spend some time thinking about your audience and ensure that there are not any copyright issues before purchasing. It's a great idea to get feedback from others. Share your proposed name with people you trust to make sure it is appealing and makes sense. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.